since realizing yesterday that I needed to acknowledge my desire to affect change as being an equal, possibly an equal in my journey here, because I didn't want to acknowledge that for some reason. I just thought maybe I could just I don't do readings for other people, but maybe I can do one for a collective who is going through a spiritual awakening, which I think is, I mean, I already had like a small one, I suppose, and this would be like the big one for me. But maybe I can channel some messages for people who are just entering into this spiritual space, that aren't looking for, relationship or career messages, but something that would help them navigate this time in their life. So that is my intention here. What messages want to come through? Tim's here. Tim number 27. 4 of Cups, 9 of Coins. So the universe, in this process, getting dive bombed. He's like dive bombing me. In this process, something that, in the beginning of this process for me, something that really caught my attention, that didn't before, was noticing all the synchronicity around me, and the universe was handing me these signs and these signals and all of these synchronicities throughout my whole life, and I had never been paying attention to them until one day I started paying attention to them, and then I started noticing that they were everywhere, and it led to this feeling of spiritual abundance. Spiritual abundance that I co-created with spirit. It helped me to ask, and it was a limitless asking. The other side of that, it was tireless. The time is something that we have here. It's like a man-made construct. It's not, we're not a bother to whatever's out there. To our spirit team, we're not bothering them. That you have the power to transcend failure and move into a limitless future. If this is coming at a time after you've had a failure, or a perceived failure, and you're wondering, like, is this just me, my reaction to not being able to deal with this disappointment? No, it's not. It's not a coincidence. It's not you going crazy. It's not you being delusional. Whatever that was that transpired before this, it may have needed to happen. I suppose it could be any sort of situation, but it may have needed to happen to be the catalyst for the things that you're experiencing now. It really is a time of wonder, and you're stepping into a space where you have all the power to create. You possess all the tools you need. You just need to see them. If you've seen that movie Hook, if you've seen the movie Hook, where Robin Williams is sitting at the table and the children around him are eating, and he's like, I don't see anything. And then he starts seeing it. That's where you are. That's where you are. What a great movie. Chameleon. Conceal ambition with patience until it is time to make your move. That doesn't really mean anything to me, but perhaps somebody out there asked to see a chameleon or asked for advice about timing. Magic opportunity. Embrace the unexpected. Seize the chance for transformation. Yeah, we create magic in our own lives. We are in the beginning of Harry Potter. Veil of illusion. Lift the veil of illusion. Seeking truth beneath the surface to navigate through love and career authentically. I feel these experiences are bound to lead a lot of people towards seeking new career paths that are more fulfilling emotionally, that are more creative, that allow them to celebrate more of who they are. Maybe that's where this comes in. Conceal ambition with patience until it is time to make your move. And if you're in a dead-end job, or it just, in terms of fulfillment, that could also make sense of this too. You have the power to transcend failure and move into a limitless future. Or perhaps you're looking for a relationship that you feel spiritually connected to someone. Embrace change with open arms, for it is the catalyst for your evolution and growth. Yeah. Yeah, whatever this situation is that is over, maybe failure isn't, it probably isn't the right word for a lot of people, but it's run, whatever that is, it's run its course. And it was the catalyst for this awakening. What else wants to come through here? What other messages do we have for people who are going through a spiritual awakening right now and possibly feeling confused? The Phoenix. New phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. Embrace that transformation and try to embrace the transformation. This is a Phoenix. Paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. For a lot of you, this could be seeking out more fulfilling relationships. Maybe you're ready to move on from a group of friends that you don't have anything in common with anymore. Or maybe you're tired of seeking the meaningless relationships. Or maybe your relationships were centered around, they're more like a business transaction. Like, was it mutually beneficial in terms of finances or, your social circle? Maybe it's time to seek out a relationship that allows you to be more playful and to bring joy into your life. What else do we have here? Unique gifts. Yeah, this time, what is this? something about Aquarius. It's like the age of Aquarius or something like that. This is a time for people to revamp their careers and use their unique gifts as a means of supporting themselves, even if it's just a side hustle. You can be, you can have your day job and then, allow the universe to support you in your other endeavors that bring you joy. That the joy contributes to the oneness, to the expansion of the oneness. When you experience joy, we all experience joy. The golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts. Yeah, go back to, if you can, go back to childhood. If there was something that just brought you a lot of joy as a child. Something that sparks creativity within you. So seek guidance in this. It is time for a different perspective. Yeah, I absolutely would seek out information for people who've already gone through this process. I still am. That's what I did, and it helped so much knowing that I wasn't alone and that I wasn't going crazy. There is hope ahead. Have courage and take heart, for there is hope. Yeah, before I left my job, I felt very stuck, and I couldn't see the hope. I was struggling. I was like out in the ocean, like bobbing, gasping for air. There is a way forward, and I know that everything is heavy right now. But the more of us who go through this, the lighter everything will become, and the easier it will become for the next batch of us. So I would say just trust that there is reason to hope. Okay. Breathe in, practice breath work today. Maybe meditation would be good for some of you. If you try meditation, I would make sure that you have something to write with near you so that you can write down any of the images that come up or anything that you hear. If a song comes into your head, don't dismiss that as being nothing. Don't take that as your inability to quiet your mind. The things that are coming up when you're trying to meditate will tell you something. I've had meditation sessions where I got 15 different symbols, and then I go look them up after, and at least half of them mean the same thing. And then, everything seemed to say transformation the first time I did that. Everything I got said transformation, but then at a different point in my life, I went back to it, and I was like, okay, I already expect everything to tell me transformation because that's all that ever happened. And it turned out that was happening for a reason. I was going through that because the next time that I started doing that was recently, and everything that I was getting was a symbol for freedom, not for transformation. And if I hadn't had that previous experience, I would be thinking that this is just something I want to be telling myself. But having experienced the difference in those two circumstances and having those things reflect what I was going through with me not knowing what those symbols meant, it went a long way in getting me to take a leap of faith and trusting. Race from the ash light. Rise, resilience, rebirth. Even your ashes remember how to rise. Well, this is a picture of what looks like maybe a dove, but that we typically think of as a phoenix. Root of renewal. Okay, before I even read this, I want to go back to this. This made me think of forest fires and how the forest regenerates itself within the next 2 years after a forest fire. The next card I have here is Root of Renewal. Regeneration, depth, restoration. Renewal begins at the root of what you dare to touch again. So in terms of renewal, we go back to our past to retouch things, to revisit them, to review things from the past, to see how we can better integrate those lessons into our lives. And that might look like not carrying false beliefs forward with us from those experiences, because a lot of times that's what we do. We carry false beliefs away from hard lessons, and they color our view of the future. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that would help anyone watching right now? Surrender to the sweetness. Right, that's enough. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. We have more joy here. Where was that? I don't remember where that joy here was. Paradise. Venus energy. Venus is very much a planet of love, self-love, beauty. Make love to life. That reminds me of the beginning of a relationship, how that feeling that you get at the beginning of the relationship, of a relationship, is this feeling of endless potential. And you're being called to lean into that, to trust that, to know that it's okay to fully let yourself feel that, and that it's not a trap. You're not being love bombed by the universe. That sounds so funny. You're not being love bombed by the universe, for anybody who's worried about that. Okay. Cleansing water, purification, activates vibrant life force. Make sure you're practicing self-care. It's easy to get lost in all of this and ignore the 3D. Make sure you're taking care of your body. Make sure you're paying attention to what you're eating. Make sure you're eating root vegetables. Make sure you're staying grounded. That helps me, eating like carrots and potatoes. And make sure you're coming back to your body, and don't just abandon the 3D world to get lost in this new place that you're starting to explore. Yeah. Maybe that won't be for that many people. That definitely was for me. I was just floating out into space. Oh my goodness. That first time, I think I needed that. I think I needed to get my toes wet with that first time. And then the 2 years later, now here I am. I would have just been out drifting the universe with my propensity for dissociation and my writer's mind. I just would have been off in fantasy land forever. So I'm thankful that mine came in 2 waves, for sure. But I hope you got what you needed to out of this. Yeah, that was nice. I'm glad I was able to relay these messages for you.